lyser med en fantastisk intensitet, opp til 1 megawatt. Har det vært beregnet at dette her lyser ut. Det lyser lenge. Hvor I all verden ledningen da? Hvor drivstofftanken som klarer å få dette her til å lyse? Det like stort som et hus nå av det.
Hessdalen, this remote mountain valley in Norway, 30 kilometers north of the mining town Røros, has a population of only 120. There was once 4 times as many people living here, but today many homes are empty. But why is there a blue container placed far up on one of the hillsides, with cameras covering the valley? Is there something going on in Hessdalen of an unusual character?
The light phenomena here in Hessdalen in Norway started in late 81, with a lot of sightings. At the most it was 20 sightings a week. The local people here started to see the light down in the valley, sometimes close to their houses, and they was wondering what could this be, and some was a little bit afraid too, because no one could give them any answer. What could it be? And this became known for the public through newspapers, etc. And people started to go up here and see if they could see it for themselves. And many people did.
Men da stod vi 30-40 personer og kikket. Og plutselig kom da dette lyset gjennom skydekket og ned langs fjellsiden og stoppet rett foran oss og seig forbi. Og vi fulgte den med blikket, og nede I dalen lenger frem stod det et lys og ventet på den. Og I det øyeblikk falt jo alle mine teorier om fly, meteoritt, kulelyn. For det første var det ikke noe lyd fra dette her. Dette her var helt uforståelig.
A long oval-shaped light phenomenon appeared to be landing. It came up the valley along the mountainside, stopped and rotated slowly.
Så reiste den seg opp, så den står som en stake oppe på fjellet. Og da var det akkurat som når du ser inn I sola, så ser du en silhuett inn I det lyset.
This picture is taken with 1/60th of a second exposure.
The phenomena behaves very different. Some is moving very slowly, and some lights can move very fast. The fastest speed we have ever measured was 30,000 kilometers an hour. And we have also recorded the slower speed. We have also recorded on the radar something moving without being seen by a light, so it's invisible, but it's a strong recording on the radar, so it's actually there is something which is moving around.
Ja, Hessdalen som du ser innover her slik, den cirka 15 kilometer lang. Den ikke så veldig stor da, men så har du en fjellside på øst og fjellside I vest. Det har jo vært mye mot disse fjellene som dette har blitt sett veldig mye da.
Many strange photos were taken of the phenomenon during the first years. The lights were difficult to capture on film due to long distances and rapid movements in the dark. Even on short exposures down to 1/100th of a second, the lights covered a large area of the film. What kind of lights would behave this way, night after night in this harsh environment?
I 84, tror jeg, på denne tida på året, var vi nå lekte oss inn på låven her, og kommer ned ut I utgangsdøra, så registrerer vi et eller annet som står overfor oss, og det et lys som vi står og ser på, som står og funker det sånn som det her, og det blågrønt, og det står og, ja, en cirka 5-10 sekunder, det virker som en evighet, og så plutselig så, husk, så drar det bortover vestover. Jeg følte ingen frykt. Jeg tenkte kanskje at det var så heldig at jeg kom såpass titt inn på det, for før så hadde jeg sett det på avstand, kan jeg si, på mange kilometer. Det kom sånne runde kuler som glidende innover dalen, og etter hvert så ble det så vanlig at det var ikke artig lenger. Men det her var mye mer spennende, for det var mye nærmere.
There were many efforts to explain these phenomena. Could it be aeroplanes, or the light from a distant railroad reflected in the sky, or maybe ball lightning? Or was it satellites, planets, or meteors? But the speed and the way the light moved, often beneath the treetops, eliminated all such explanations. The phenomenon remained unexplained.
Det som det rare med det lysfenomenet her, at det har så mange forskjellige typer observasjoner. Det nesten så vi kan dele inn I kategorier. Og en type kategori hurtige lysglimt, som ofte kan være vanskelig å se på grunn av den korte tiden som de varer. Men de sterke, så det blir registrert på film og så videre. En annen type kategori store lysfenomener som på en måte går sakte rundt omkring, som kan vare timesvis. Og en tredje type kategori vel mer hvor du har flere lyspunkter samlet på en måte, som varierer, slokker, tennes og så videre, sånne ting. Det jo de hovedkategoriene, kan du si, og så har du andre typer også som det ikke blitt observert så mange av da, men som også kanskje må tas med inn I bildet. Så utseende oppførselen ganske forskjellig, vil jeg si, mellom de kategoriene, og som gjør det selvfølgelig vanskelig å finne en løsning.
3 main categories of light, but the fourth category, what was that? Was there more to this than only lights? After a while, brave locals came forward and told of other observations, including large, solid objects.
Ja, jeg har sett 2 forskjellige variasjoner. Ja. Den ene blank og oppløst, ja. Og den andre mer som sigarformet, og opplyst I begge ender med svart parti, en mørkt parti midt på.
Beveger det seg?
Ja, I forskjellige hastigheter. Og det hender seg også at det stopper opp og står.
Ja, på vårhus det I grenn lenger bort der. En Åge skulle jeg og kjøre tømmer ned på elven der en kveld med snøskutteret. Så jeg skulle følge og hjelpe jeg også, for det var mot. Så jeg skulle rulle de tømmerstokkene på plass, ja, og det gjorde jeg. Så jeg satte meg opp på tømmerstokkene og koset meg der til morgenskjana med en røk og det, og satt og styret. Og der fikk jeg se det kom I lys ifra sø. Helt stilt, det var ingen lyd nå, og det kom imellom meg og det granen der. Og det ikke noe langt unna der jeg var. Og det var 2 lys på det der som kom, men jeg så det var en farekost altså. Det var, ja du kan tenke deg I kneippbrød som flatt på ned, og så at det kuves opp slik. Så var det ikke lys nemme frempå der, og ikke hviter han oppå. Så det var ikke noe fly det, nei. Men hva det var, det vet ikke vi ennå.
Vi bevitnes på at vi har sett det så 68 observasjoner. Og det nedskrevet, ja.
Og når var de siste observasjonene?
11. juni. Det nå I 2006. Og det var ca. 30 varmegrader I sola den dagen. Og helt klar himmel. Og da så vi som en sylinder over fjellet her. Men så rare med det den observasjonen, det var at sola skjer ikke på der sylinderen på sørsida, der hun skulle ha skjedd, men på nordsida, der det skulle være skygge.
Jeg kjørte opp med bussen om morgenen når hun var 7:30, tenker jeg, oppover her, Hestdalslia, innover mot Hestdalen ifra Åren da, her. Og jeg var alene i bussen, og så, når jeg kom nesten opp på toppen, så fikk jeg da se at det kom en lysende gjenstand. Det var jo på våren det her, men det var liksom en liten soloppgang, så at jeg så det glinsa i metallet på det der fartøyet eller sånt da. Det var som luftskipet Norge, kan en si da. Det var en sånn formasjon som det var, vi vet jo aldri hvordan det så ut. Det gikk og forsvant da mot det nord, men det gikk inn i atmosfæren liksom på en måte. Så får jeg se et blinkende lys innover Hestdalen. Stod og speilet og så på her, plutselig så kommer det en gjenstand. Da stod jeg over skuen der på ca. 300 meters avstand. Det var som et spøkelsesfly. Sølv metallic, hadde et blinkende rødt lys fremme. Og så var det 2 blanke lys som stod loddra oppå hverandre bak da. Det var formet omtrent som en pistolkule, kan si en 9 mm pistol.
Jeg kan fortelle dere, men vinterkveld, ja det var i februar-mars. Og så når jeg kom opp av Hestdalslia da, så var det noe mørkt. Men når jeg kom mest opp på toppen, opp på kjølen der som vi ser, der ble det opplyst rundt meg. Det ble opplyst om dagen. Så kom det nå og for over bil. Det var som en opplyst herrehatt. Gammeldags slik stor herrehatt med brem på det. Som for over bil og fremover. Jeg så skogen oppe i Rognefjellet og alt. Ja, det var rart skal jeg si det å se. Satt der og kjørte i mørket, og så plutselig ble det opplyst rundt det.
These reports had the characteristics of classic UFO observations, leading to massive resistance against the phenomenon in the media. The local people in Hestdalen were soon being ridiculed.
Vi ble fryktelig latterliggjort. Det var vanskeligere å reise i hovedbygden i Åla på handel.
Og det var bakgrunnen for at vi gjorde de første undersøkelsene allerede i 84, hvor vi da hadde instrumenter her oppe, og fikk gjort målinger når dette fenomenet var her.
A small group of enthusiasts from UFO organizations in Norway and Sweden conducted the first investigations, partly supported from a university and with equipment from the military. Electromagnetic measuring equipment, low-frequency radio receivers, cameras and radar were mounted on a proper site with a good overview. Would it be possible to capture the phenomenon with this equipment? If so, this would be the evidence many were waiting for. And in the first winter in 1984, 53 observations were made during a month. These reports were so astonishing that one of the world's foremost UFO researchers, Dr. J. Allen Hynek, arrived in Hestdalen to see for himself. He was the former scientific advisor for UFO studies undertaken by the U.S. Air Force under the name of Project Blue Book.
And I'm impressed with Hestdalen itself, because Hestdalen is really a UFO laboratory. It's a place where things are happening and where things can be studied.
Well, once we used a laser to point to the phenomenon when it showed up, and it reacted. Well, it was at that time a flashing light, and when we pointed the laser beam to it, it changed the flashing frequency. It doubled the flashing frequency, and we take it down again, and it went back to regular flashing. And we did this test 9 times, and in 8 of those 9 times it changed the flashing frequency.
Powerful lights with unusual movements, observations of craft-like objects, and responses to laser beams. What kind of phenomenon was this? And still even more peculiar reports were to emerge. In 1984, in a small valley connected to Hessdalen, 3 moose hunters are starting their day. What they are about to find can definitely not be explained as seeing things.
Laget var på elgjakt og går ut fra hytta inne i Ledalen på morgenen, i god tid på formiddagen. Og når vi har gått en stund, så plutselig kjenner jeg at myra begynner å bevege seg under meg. Vi er oppmerksom på at det er utskjæret i viss form i torvet der. Jeg begynner å undersøke litt mer om det der, og straks ved siden der ser jeg at det er opptatt i torv av samme format. Men der sto hølet tomt, og 4-5 meter lenger inn på tørrerabben der, det lå torva nedsatt, akkurat slik som hun var opptatt. Ingenting var døttet eller noen ting. Skjærer helt rene kanter. Og den der juften hadde tjukkelser på torven da, mellom 35 og 40 centi. Og så bløt mye, så der han nok ville vært, ja, anslig, de anslår det til halvannen til 2 tonn. Å gå dit en par timers gange uansett til en går ifra, minst. Og det finnes ikke spor i hele tatt. Så det er ikke med menneskelig makt uten å trenge redskap på det, og løfte den der, og flytte så langt.
What has the ability to cut out a piece of soaking wet turf weighing 2 tons and place it undamaged 5 meters away? The tree roots in the turf are cut with razor blade precision.
Det der bildet nå ble tatt om våren etter vi fant det om høsten. Men det vises nå likevel ganske tydelig. Det finnes redskap og maskiner som gjør det mest utrolig, men akkurat den der arbeidsoperasjonen kan ikke forestille meg noen verdensting som kunne tatt og flyttet.
Later it appears that the same things had happened 2 years earlier further north in Norway, at Andøya, with precisely the same kind of cut and of exactly the same size. Was it the same phenomenon in operation? Was this the result of an unknown type of ball lightning, or was someone from another world gathering test material? In spite of the eyewitness reports of craft-like UFOs and signs of mysterious landings, the researchers decide to concentrate on the light observations. This is a part of the phenomena where they have managed to obtain solid measurements and reliable data. Could it be that the observations of objects are of a totally different kind, requiring a completely different type of approach?
Well, according to hadronic mechanics, that's a scientific and far-reaching revolution of the physics of century-old quantum mechanics and relativity theory, and nowadays also
requiring a completely different type of approach.
Well, according to hadronic mechanics, that's a scientific and far-reaching revolution of the physics of century-old quantum mechanics and relativity theory, and nowadays also being unfolded in hadronic chemistry and technology, new technologies. According to hadronic mechanics, there is no problem with space travel, and not even with the time travel, given certain circumstances and given certain kind of technology. But the physical laws for traveling through our 3D space with speeds far above the speed of light, the equations and the physical models, concepts and relations for explaining this has been clear for more than 10 years in advanced hadronic mechanics.
During the 1990s, the frequency of observation slowly decreased. In the early 80s, 20 observations would be made in a week. 20 to 30 are now made per year. But the group of Norwegian enthusiasts continues their research. In 1994, Erling Strand and his colleagues organized the first international conference on the phenomenon in Hessdalen. Leading scientists arrived from 8 countries, including the USA, Russia and Japan.
Det ene er jo at vi ønsker å diskutere selve fenomenet, og det andre er jo hva vi skal gjøre med dette her for å finne en løsning.
Dere som er interessert i det uforklarlige, hvordan blir dere mottatt i, skal vi kalle det, seriøse forskermiljøet i Norge?
Vi blir positivt mottatt, og de er veldig interessert i dette her, så lenge det blir gjort på en riktig måte. Og må du huske på en forsker, det er jo en som skal finne ut noe av det ukjente.
The theory suggesting that the Hessdalen phenomena are generated by reflections from car lights, trains, or that they are in some way connected to TV and radio transmitters are put to rest once and for all. This conference had one important consequence, that the phenomenon is now treated with more respect, and for the population in the Hessdalen Valley, this is a great relief.
I think that this fact very important in the future, especially in the practice. For example, you can use this phenomenon like a container of energy, pure energy, not atomic energy, pure energy like hydrodynamic energy and maybe wind energy, electric energy. And
in 1998, research in Hessdalen enters a new phase that was to prove historic. Supported by the Østfold University, the world's first 24/7 observatory for light phenomena is established in Hessdalen. With the generous help from one of the local farmers, a large, well-equipped container was placed on one side of the valley. Radar and instruments for measuring electromagnetic noises run continuously, along with video recorders that are activated as soon as unusual aerial movements are detected. Excitement is running high. Will it now be possible to capture the phenomenon on these new instruments?
Vi fikk opp denne her i august måned i 98, og da var det jo bare ett kamera her oppe. Og allerede etter noen dager så tok den sitt første fenomen.
Each minute the still cameras shoot overviews covering the valley and upload to the internet. Several observations of the phenomenon have been obtained from these cameras all year round. But what about the video cameras? After a year's tense wait, it finally happens. The Hessdalen phenomenon is caught on camera. Zooming in and slowing down the film shows something really astonishing. A second light seems to appear from underneath, joining the main light. How could this be interpreted? This footage brings the Hessdalen research to a new era.
Many people in Hessdalen municipality have seen the light phenomena in Hessdalen, and the community take it serious, and we are sure that there are something, but we don't know, and we want the scientists to be serious and try to find out what the light phenomena is.
We are at the Italian Center for Radio Astronomy in Medicina outside Bologna. The huge antennas are aimed at the stars. The scientists here are scanning the universe for sign of life. Conducted by the SETI program, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence.
Well, we have recorded a huge amount of data so far, but unfortunately we could not get any signal yet. Of course, we go on like that. We continue recording signals, we continue analyzing signals, hoping that one day something interesting can come out, of course.
After becoming aware of the Hessdalen phenomenon, the Italian scientists traveled to Hessdalen and had their own experience. From then on, they have supplied the Norwegian research team with valuable support. In Hessdalen, the Italians have recently installed their own scientific instruments, including radar and electromagnetic measuring equipment.
Now we have installed here a VLF receiver. VLF stands for Very Low Frequency Receiver, in order to investigate on the phenomena that are happening in this valley.
The signals are received and analyzed at the Bologna Radio Astronomy Center.
So the data collected inside the blue box in Hessdalen and also inside the Peder is sent every day automatically inside our server. After that, we start the processing of that.
So far, many interesting radar readings have been received from the lights, while photos have been taken simultaneously from the Norwegian observatory. In this way, data have been confirmed.
I would like to remember that this phenomena appear in several parts around the world, and of course Hessdalen is very interesting because from the statistical point of view appear several times. By the way, also in Italy, in Australia, USA, Thailand and so on, so many parts of the world is interested in this kind of phenomena.
This phenomena could give us information about some kind of unknown form of energy. In my opinion, any kind of phenomena need to be unknown phenomena, need to be investigated. This is the curiosity of the humankind.
A new container with more advanced instrumentation is being assembled in Italy and will soon be placed near the top of the Rogne mountain in Hessdalen. This cooperative Hessdalen Research Association HERA is also planning to establish a larger permanent observatory in the valley. This cooperation between the Østfold University and the Italians is an important incentive to research, now producing new amazing results.
I 2004 så var vi her i Hessdalen med studenter og forskere fra Italia, og hadde da bemannet flere forskningsbaser her. Blant annet var det ene forskningsbasen på toppen av Rogne. Vi så da sydover i dalen her, og midt på natta, sånn ved 2-3 tida, så begynte det å skje ting. Det som hendte da var det at det så ut som det var et slags tett objekt. Det kunne se ut som kall det metallisk sky, som plutselig oppstod på et sted. Og så flyttet det seg, og 5 ganger så klarte vi å ta bilder av akkurat dette skjedde. Og det siste som skjedde med den metalliske skyen, det var på størrelsen av en låve. Så forsvant den, og så dukket den da opp som en sånn ildmørje. Rett etter det så stoppet den ildmørja lyset, og så dukket det opp 2 lys. Det ene litt større enn det andre ved siden av hverandre, som krasjet rett i bakken der borte. I det her skjedde, at den traff tretoppen der borte, så kom det ut en blå, spiralerende lysstrek som føk bortover sånn. Den her blå lysstrålen, den treffer da toppen på et tre der borte, og med en gang den treffer det, rett etterpå det, så forandrer den bølgelengden i hvordan den spiralerer bortover. Og da blir det mye lengre mellom hver topp på spiralen.
The results of the first 4 years of studies in cooperation with the Italians conclude that the phenomenon exists and is periodically active in Hessdalen. The phenomenon is identified as a bright flying object with special characteristics making it unique to science. The phenomenon is more complex and diverse than expected, indicating more than one single kind of phenomenon. The phenomenon is sometimes made up of separate units that may depart and fly away. The speed varies from still to 8 kilometers per second. The phenomenon changes course in speeds indicating no mass by physical means. The phenomenon seems to be able to take on pieces of plasma or energy from the ground while passing by. The phenomenon seems to radiate energy due to the light and frequent change of color. Many interesting spectra in the optical and radio frequency range have been detected, but more data is needed to draw proper conclusions. These scientific data are quite sensational. We are dealing with a real existing phenomenon that can be observed and studied, even though this is difficult. But why Hessdalen? What makes this remote valley different from other locations? Does it have anything to do with the existence of the massive mineral resources located in this area?
Kanskje et av Norges største malmfelt, malmressurser, ligger urørt der, Hersefeltet. Antydet av bergmesteren til å inneholde ca. 16 millioner tonn råmalm. Og det vel kanskje 3 ganger så mye malm som det Rørosfeltet og Killingdal drev på i 300 år. Da snakker vi om kopper og sink.
The 300-year-old copper mines in Røros, not far away, have connections to the Hessdalen geological structures. In Hessdalen we also find remains of iron mining, which dates as far back as to the Viking Age, 1,000 years ago. Could this massive concentration of minerals be linked to the phenomenon? But another mineral is also present here. Several old sulfur mines are located along the riverside, and some reports have been connected to this particular mineral.
Kom over Hestadkjølen, så fikk vi se i lys på den andre siden til dalen, og vi så hele lia, hele Hestadalen nedover. Og da var det se nede, så vi kunne telle bjørkene på hele lia på Hestdalen. Og så plutselig kom det så fæl lukt. Det var rett svovel. Da var det opplyst i flere farver, begge sider av veien. All snøen var opplyst.
I 2004 så tok vi flere bilder etter hverandre på natta, hvor da Høystdalsfenomenet dukket opp over den posisjonen her hvor svovelgruva er lokalisert. Det var flere av disse som da var akkurat på samme sted, men startet da flere minutter etter hverandre. Så den gruva her, den er spesiell for Hessdalen.
But connecting the minerals in Hessdalen to the phenomenon is just another theory. The appearance of the phenomenon does not seem to follow any fixed patterns. In 2007, a large group of international scientists visit Hessdalen as a part of a conference organized by the US-based Society for Scientific Exploration. Many of these experts and scientists study similar phenomena at other places in the world.
The lights in Hessdalen are a fascinating phenomenon because they just arise over the ground. They're unpredictable whenever they arise. They're different shapes, different sizes, different intensities, and different durations. And so it's quite a curious phenomenon.
We have no explanation as to the cause at this time. It could be related to natural geophysical phenomena, earthquake precursors, earth lights. These are atmospheric disturbances. At this point, the jury is still out. We don't know. But that's part of it, the mystery. And that's why it's a good scientific subject.
Whether it is, as some people think, Earthlight,
of geological origin, but I don't believe so from what I see as observations. I think it's much more complex. Is there a relation with UFOs? I do not know, but that's a question we have to solve. We do not have to believe this or that. We have to study it and to try to understand it.
This is a car driving. The camera shutter has been open for 30 seconds. So we have the spectrum from the car, but here we have the Hessdalen phenomena. Here.
At the conference, and for the first time ever, results of spectrum analysis of the phenomena are presented. They indicate that the lights contain elements of oxygen, nitrogen and silica, which in reality means air and dust. But there are also traces of the rare element scandium, found existent only in Scandinavia.
It's air and dust from Hessdalen that burns here. But it is some other kind of chemical elements inside it, this scandium.
Scandium is an extremely hard material and was used in the production of Soviet fighter planes.
Nuclear plants. It was very, very surprising to find scandium in it. For å kunne få tak I forskningsdata så vi avhengig av masse folk. Bemanne flere forskningsstasjoner I fjellet, så vi har etablert et program som kalles for Science Camp, hvor vi involverer studenter og grunnskoleelever I opptil 14 dager, hvor vi bemanner forskningsstasjoner I fjellet. Og I september nå så hadde vi litt over 100 deltakere på en Science Camp som gikk I en hel uke.
Det egentlig to innstillinger. Det det ene oppe her, den stille lysforsterkningen. Den forsterker egentlig lyset. Og dette går jo veldig mye da på å få ungdommer interessert I naturen og I realfag, for å studere realfag senere. Så det jo rett og slett hva skal jeg si, motivasjonsfaktor vi ute og jobber med, altså.
Vi skal ta som måle sånn radioaktiv stråling I lufta, og så skal vi ta bilder utover dalen og se om vi får noen bilder av dette Hessdalsfenomenet.
Hovedpoenget med utstyret her jo å detektere noe som spesielt ved Hessdalsfenomenet. Vi leter jo et eller annet som skiller dette lyset fra alt mulig annet. Så den første her, det kamerasystemet her, det tar bilder med veldig lang åpningstid, pluss at det har et spektralgitter foran. Så vi kan få se et optisk spekter og få fingeravtrykket til fenomenet.
Så du det?
Ja, se der det. Der det.
Der det. Sist ute. Der ja. Hei, det beveger seg. Hei. Oi. Sjekk.
Vi har hatt et lysfenomen I peiling 312 grader, og det lyste I fjellsida I den retningen der innenpå et minutt. Yes, this spectacular picture was shot from Rogner Mountain, approximately in 1,000 meters altitude towards west, and it started to happen things at approximately 9:30 in the evening, when the Aurora Borealis first show. And then we suddenly had a lot of flashes in the valley, and then some huge lights that suddenly turned out and moved with a very high speed north-south in the valley. And one spectacular happening was 1 minute before 10 in the evening. Then we had a big light that started out and moved very quickly north and south and gave us this very, very impressive picture, which possibly is the best picture ever taken of the Hessdalen phenomenon. The exposure time was 30 seconds. So we see that the Hessdalen phenomena moves from starts up here and moves down and then goes up again here. The distance here, it's approximately maybe from 10 to 15 kilometers, the distance it has covered. And the camera has an optical grating in front of the lens, and this grating make this optical spectrum here. The one thing that is that surprises us with this spectrum is that it's continuous. The colors goes directly over in the other color here, and we see no lines or dots here, which will give us a signal of that we have a gas that is burning. This looks like optical spectrum from a solid object, or from plasma with high density, or it could be molecular chemical compositions, because molecular optical bands have very, very narrow lines, and I think that our equipment has not the resolution to could differ the different lines here. So a molecular band could give us something that looks like a continuous spectre.
At the same time, this observation is registered on radar. While the lights were seen only for a few minutes, the radar readings show the phenomenon apparent for a total of 4 hours.
And we are also very curious about the Hessdalen phenomena, which looks like a burning ball of fire, that it doesn't expand. In a combustion process, things should expand like in a motor in a car, but the phenomena keeps it in the same volume. It doesn't expand at all. So something must be able to hold this phenomena together, like a big magnetic field, like a plasmoid, a magnetic field which entraps plasma and keeps it inside itself. So we are looking for the mechanism that stores the energy, and why this energy source is so extremely powerful in the intensity. If this is a kind of a plasmoid, then we have a localized magnetic field that is able to encompass and keep a huge amount of energy, a plasma, inside a small ball for a long, long time. And this storing mechanism is one of the most interesting things to find out of. And this storing mechanism could also be possibly a new way of storing energy instead of batteries, instead of petrol, instead of nuclear power. Maybe we in the atmosphere have a natural storing mechanism for energy which we never have been able to detect before.
The Hessdalen phenomenon is alive. The scientists claim to be on the verge of a revolution within physics. Can it be the energy source of the future we are looking at? The idea of extracting energy from thin air or vacuum is not new. As early as the 1920s, Nikola Tesla claimed to have discovered enormous energy potential in what he called the flux field or the vacuum field. Today, science has named it zero-point energy. Until now, there is no known method of extracting this energy. Can this be what we see glimpses of in Hessdalen? Or is the phenomenon of a character challenging us to expand our conceptions of reality even further? Do the reports from locals in Hessdalen indicate that there is more to this than mystical energy alone? Many forefront physicists claim that we should reach for a totally new view on reality. If so, could Hessdalen be a portal to a different world?
We know there is a lot of energy in it. We have a lot of data, some indication on the power. And if we find out what this power is coming from, maybe we can use that power for the mankind. It can be, for instance, a clean power source. Who knows? We don't know yet. But if we do necessary research, we maybe can find an answer to that question. can this be a new power which the man can be using?